Okay. We are live. Let me move this. Okay. All right. We are live. We're live this morning. And is my it's not plugged up. Okay. Well, let's get that. This is not plugged up. Hold on a second, Top Squad. We're live. We're live with news on the Nolan Wells case. Just one moment, Top Squad. Let me get this organized. I was not expecting to be up this early. First of all, child, I'm not an early morning. This is not me. I used to could do this. I can't do this. I can't do this no more, y'all. That was Tyesse 3 years ago. Ooh, child. Okay, luckily I had already kind of woke up a little bit. It was a little, All right. Okay. Um, we're live this morning with the NAACP press conference concerning Nolan Wells. All Top Squad members, please, can you man our chats? Man our chats for straight people, agitators, trolls, people that want a channel but want to come over here and report. So just don't time them out. Just completely block them. Okay. No timeout. I'm not a morning person, and with a case like this, I'm really not in the mood. So don't time them out. Just block them. You have my permission. Anybody in the chat doing any secondary reporting, want to be a blogger through my channel, just completely take them out. We don't have time today. We don't have time. Absolutely, we don't have time today. Okay. Thank everybody for tuning in today. I appreciate you. I really do. I appreciate everybody for tuning in on this morning. The press conference was at the NAACP convention in Chicago. I watched it live. Several people, we were inboxing each other, several of my beloveds. I'm not sending out any personal notifications. I'm going to save them for tonight. We are live on the Black Gaze channel. That channel will always be used for information concerning our community, Black folks, indigenous folks, LGBTQ folks. So we will always have information, not just only LGBTQ, but anything that is involving marginalized communities or marginalized people, right? Thank you. I decided to just I said I need a new background. I used to do this in my old apartment, just like I need a new little something different, I'll go back to my other one, probably tomorrow, and I'll do it like kind of go back and forth, right? All right. Thank you, Ross. Okay, so what we have, Top Squad, is we have Attorney Ben Crump, President Johnson, NAACP, the family, other officials, and social justice leaders were there on stage, packed room, media and folks that were there to find out what was going on. Thank you, Jonathan, for $18.88 for keeping us informed, Ty. Okay, well, listen, I don't have no other choice. Thank you, Brother Jonathan, for $18.88. I don't know what you mean, though, by seminary yet, question mark. You talking about me? I don't know what you mean by seminary yet, question mark. Tyesse? No, I'm not going to seminary. I'm good. Also, thank you, Mona, right now for $20. I appreciate you, Mona. My mother from another. Thank you so much, Mona. Seminary, y'all. I don't know what y'all be. I don't know what y'all be hearing on this channel. Okay. Anyways, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I'm going to say this, Tyesse Report, my personal opinion. This is my personal opinion. I told this to several people as we were watching it live. Okay. First of all, and they were hitting me up saying it. We all were hitting each other up saying the same thing at the same time to each other. Okay. Hey, comedian Michelle Benson. They needed a doctor or somebody up there speaking. This is no shade to being Crump. But if you can't pronounce decomposition, that's a problem. It really is for me. Because we want our representation. We already got black folks, self-hating black folks up here, like Brandon Tatum, that's live with 10,000 people watching with anti-black rhetoric, right? That you needed a doctor up there. You don't need to be up there. I'm like, oh my God, it's distracting. You needed to pack Dr. Golden would have went up there. Y'all could have paid her. Or just donated $5,000 to her GoFundMe. Dr. Golden, she's right there. She could have flew over there or drove over. But I just didn't, y'all, I'm just saying, me personally, I just cannot stand when people just mess something up. I really do. I can't stand it. And that's the thing. That's the thing. You can be educated. We know the man is educated because he's a lawyer. He had to pass the bar. And so we're all texting each other in real time, me and the squad, right? You can be educated and sound uneducated. With the amount of money that he has, he can go to the best speech pathologist ever. Everybody has moments. Everybody has a little moment where, words don't come out right. We all do that. There's some words that we have hard times pronouncing. Oh my God, y'all, can we please, y'all, moving forward, just get somebody up there that, that sounds like they, and that's not a dig, because sometimes you think that's a dig about education. It's not. I'm not educated. I'm self-taught. Well, I'm not traditionally educated. I didn't go to college. I did not matriculate through college. I'm kind of like self-taught. And so, yeah, there are words that, there are words that may come out wrong when I say it, but it ain't going to be I'm not going to be I ain't going to be sitting up here sounding ignorant. I'm sorry, y'all, he reminds me of the character from Fat Albert. That's, that character they sound exactly alike. I literally, when he could not pronounce decomposition, I said, you know what, sir, those words are words that pathologists, medical examiners deal with every day. They know how to pronounce those words. Okay. The other thing, y'all, that was kind of like, it is what it is. But here's my thing. Here's what I believe. I believe that this press conference was premature. I don't think they should have did this press conference. That's my personal opinion. You may disagree. I think that, when you already have a system in place, that's racist, and there's already an autopsy, the primary autopsy, that's under the direction of the state of Mississippi. When you have that already going on, and what these people are working with, why are y'all giving them a heads up on everything? Like, why not? You should have waited until they did theirs, then you come out and do yours. Because there was really outside Tyesse Report of this possible contusion in the back of his head, we didn't learn anything today that was just absolutely jarring. Because, first of all, I watched the whole thing up until, they started taking questions. I'm like, I'm out. I ain't got time for all this. So I watched the whole presentation. But what we have the state of Mississippi had his body and then turned the body over to them on the 10th. He died on the 4th. So there was a lot of decomposition that was going on between the 4th when he was found and the 10th. Like this, we're right. We don't have anything new other than the contusion in the back of his head. Then there are all these questions that we don't like. Okay, y'all say all of his throat is missing, right? But then, you know, they would say things like, well, they say that's normal, but some of this stuff isn't normal, right? I feel like the throat being missing was very, very, all of the throat parts. That's weird. But now that you have put all this out, now they know how to cover their tracks. They know how the blue-eyed devil is very clever. They're very savvy, and so now they know how to, you know, whatever you said today. Now they know what to do, how to, you know, maneuver. Says being Crump, who is at the family's request, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. For me, it's jarring to hear about the how we're going to be removed. Yes. So all of the information about the throat was very, very, you know, disturbing. Okay. So this is not about bashing Ben Crump. Ben Crump is out here doing what so many people are not doing. Okay. But we also have to just, you know, talk about the obvious, right? We also have to talk about the obvious because Ben Crump is like the go-to person. So he's going to be the person that's going to be at the, you know, always at the helm of our discussions, since he is the person that, you know, picks up the pieces for Black families and Black pain, right? And so he's going to be the person that's going to be discussed because he is the person that's always at the forefront of these cases. It was disturbing. You know, all of the neck and all of that. That's kind of disturbing. But is it possible that they will have some answers for that when they release their, you know, the Mississippi, when they release their findings? We had this same case with Kendrick Johnson over in South Georgia. Body parts was missing, and you know, it's his body stuffed with newspaper, you know. So we've had this before. This is not new to us, right? Yeah. And so what we have to do now is we now have to wait and see what, you know, Mississippi comes up with, right? It was really hard to follow him reading. Well, you know, you know, when we talk like this, Ross, they say we're shaming people, we're education shaming. You know, there's some people on YouTube that can't really talk well, that sound uneducated, and you may have an education. You might be, you know, have a little education, but you just don't sound educated, you know. That's not shade, that's just an observation. So a couple of girls over here on the YouTube streets that sound like, you know, evil, bubba, you know. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, ooh, baby, honey, okay. I think they should have waited. I really do think they should have waited. I don't know what coming out today does for the case. I don't. I really don't. I really would like to know why his friends had his phone and why they didn't immediately turn over to his parents, not the authority. There's so many questions concerning what happened. Another thing that came out today that, you know, is kind of like a little strange, not even a little strange, very strange, is that there's a video with TMZ. I didn't upload it. I was supposed to upload it. Oh my God. Okay. There's a video with TMZ that is showing him with his shorts on and no shirt. But Ben Crump said today that when they found his body, he had a shirt on, you know, and the thing that people really don't understand is how is there 300 and 400 people out here, and there's $125,000 reward right now, and nobody has come out and didn't nobody see anything? It's possible he got drunk, he may have injured himself, he hurt himself, and they tried to cover that up. You don't know, you know. He did an interview over there with Brandon Tatum, and it's like he ain't really said much of nothing to me, in my opinion. I mean, all I know is this. This is what I know for sure. He came with y'all, and he didn't leave with y'all, and none of y'all have told us why. That's all I know. Well, there's the information that was released today about the throat and the back of his head, but other than that, y'all, I don't. Ain't nobody saying anything. Oh my God, he is disgusting. But I think he is bought and paid for a mocha drop. I think he is bought and paid for because I can't think of nobody that's self-hating their blackness that much. That's a possibility. It's a possibility that people are scared to come forward. People are scared to say something. It's a possibility. Like people are like, if you say something, we'll handle you. We're gonna deal with you. So that's a strong possibility, you guys, that is the case. And then we have a situation right now where you look at the self-righteous church sector, Tyesse. You look at all these people. You look at Abednego. You look at Global Impact. You look at Global Impact, Abednego. Who else? What do the scriptures say? All things theology. You see all these, channels, right? And you don't see nobody covering and saying anything about this. And I always trip about that. I really do. They're not saying anything. Rock Leash, none of them. You don't see not one video. And Jesus was a social justice warrior. He was an advocate. Somebody may say, well, Tyesse, maybe their channels are not, maybe they don't deal with it. Well, yeah, they do, because when things happen to white folks, they cover it, Hell, they covered Johnny Lamb like she was the first lady of America. But I just look at stuff like, I'm like, damn, they don't even say a word about Brother Nolan. It's very telling. I'm sorry, it's very telling. But see, in order to do that, a lot of them would have to tap into the racist element of it. And see, they don't. A lot of them don't like to talk about it because we live in a post-racial America. But this is little things that I observe, and so I don't know. Somebody say, well, Tyesse, how confident are you in Mississippi? I have zero confidence in Mississippi. If there's a cover-up to be had, it will be had in Mississippi if there's a cover-up. So no, I have zero confidence in Mississippi. I just don't. Let me keep it a bean. Okay? Okay, just want to be clear. Just want to be crystal clear. Somebody in that circle or multiple people in that circle know what the hell happened. And here's the thing. We have not heard nothing about this girl. Hey, Real K-Fit, I was checking out your content right before my live. Great conversation. Tyesse, listen, have they found the girl that he was supposed to be talking to? We still ain't found this girl, this gal. And $125,000 and Mississippi is like 49th or maybe even 50th in the poverty level of America. I think they 50th. They're at the bottom when it comes to the poverty line. And there's $125,000 out here, and don't nobody know nothing, ain't nobody seen nothing, ain't nobody child. I don't know, Ty Squad. I have no idea. Nancy Grace said if she even, that's what I'm saying. They said he was over there talking to a girl. He not here to tell us. So it's up, it's only their side of the story. They said he was fully clothed. We got a video of him allegedly on that boat with no shirt on. Then they said it was several arguments being heard. People arguing and fighting and whatnot. Ooh, child, I don't know. Allegedly, the girl has spoken to the authorities and said she saw him. They spoke, but he got back on the boat with it. I hadn't heard that, so that's new to me. I've been looking all over information on that girl, but that's new to me. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Can you please, hit the thing, y'all? Well, I wish these people would leave me alone. Please just go away. Leave me alone. I'm talking about credit card companies, Task Force. I want y'all to think nobody, a man after me. I'm talking about credit card companies. They want you to be in debt. They love giving you some sort of, offer that ain't nobody offering you, right? I think Mona, it may have been a fight. I think it may have been some sort of fight and something happened. And that fight may have led to him falling overboard, hitting his head. And, I don't know. But something happened. Something strange or peculiar happened. There's a very dark energy that comes along with this story. You just feel it. And then you got these white folks on these channels trying to tell us how we should feel about us. And telling us about race in America and what is. That's why Toni Morrison says it is a profound neurosis. Telling us how we should interpret our lived experience. Do y'all hear me? Telling us how we should interpret and how we should move forward and what we should do. Child, that's why I say, baby, this America with 3 Ks. I got up early, y'all. I apologize for that one. There's something else. It's actually Patillo. I'm like, this is not about race. They can't stand being crunk. Oh my God, they can't stand Al Sharpton. Anybody that's out here. Let me explain this. No matter how being crunk sounds, his articulation, his enunciation, he is out here doing what a lot of people can't do. One thing about Al Sharpton, he has the name recognition and the media contacts that can amplify our stories. So if you want to call them race hustlers, if you want to call them ambulance chasers, we'll take all that. But I tell you one thing, if they're on the case, we're going to get some attention on the case. And that's guaranteed. But I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it again. I think that this conference, this situation, they could have waited on this. We could have just waited on this and seen what was going on. And then maybe later on, y'all say something. But it's water under the bridge now, y'all. There's very little we can do about this now. Did they mention his lungs was missing from the body? Crump was hard to. No, they didn't say anything about lungs were missing that I know of. They said his organs. They take the organs out, put them in a bag. That's very common. But they said that a lot of his, throat area things were were missing, but they said also sometimes that may be kept. It may have been kept for other reasons. We don't know. You know. Well, that's what they love doing. They love telling us about our lived experience, Michelle. Telling us what's the problem, what's wrong with you now, gal. You know, very much get over it. You know, colonizers and oppressors can tell me. They can tell me absolutely nothing. Like I said, these people, Brandon Tatum, Terrence K. Williams, the Hodge twins, they get paid very well from clicks and views. And so sometimes it may not even be, sometimes they may not even be, you know, self-hating. Sometimes they just found something that's financially works for them, and that's what they do. So they may not even be believing none of this stuff they say. They may just really have found a lucrative thing. You know, rage baiting people. And how did we get a second autopsy before the first one? What's the delay? No, the first one has been completed already. Sharonda, the first autopsy has been completed already. The state of Mississippi examiner still has some. Yes, and they said that's common. But one lady in the audience screamed out like she didn't understand. Then he clarified because they said his organs were missing. Somebody said, "Oh," and they was like, "Oh wait, you know," he's trying to explain. Somebody, you know, we've had that so much. I understand why somebody may have screamed out. You know, they didn't understand. But he said he kind of explained what was going on. Well, somebody in the audience screamed out. He said his organs was missing. It seems it may be September before the public find out the death. I don't know. I don't know when, y'all, because these people, they like to, when it comes to us, you know, there's no rush when it comes to justice for us, you know. That's why they needed a doctor instead of being Crump up there, you know, Eva, Beaver, Kiva, you know. Oh my God, like, sir, you have enough money to go to some people that can help you with your speech. Because what's her name on Love and Marriage Huntsville, she kind of talk like that too. What's that lady name on Love and Marriage Huntsville? Marceau wife. She talks like being Crump sometimes. But they said she went and got her speech together. They said she went and got some help. There is help available for all of y'all, people that talk like that. Is whatever you want, whatever you need, anything you want, baby, I'll do it naturally. All right. Yeah, Marceau wife, she kind of talk like that. Eva, Beba, Kiba. Tisha, she talk like that. Now listen, I have a lot of family members in the country. They, you know, family members. We, you know, in the South, you know, kind of talk like that, y'all. Hey, baby, let me tell you what's going on, sugar. Oh my God, are you okay? Got people in my family and deep in the, but them people like they deep in the sticks. They ain't in the city, you know. They deep way out there in the sticks, in the boonies, you know. That's her, Tisha. Surely is her. But y'all, at the end of the day, the reason everything is so fresh and raw with us is because we lived through Emmett Till. We lived through Emmett Till. We've been through a lot. So yeah. It's hurtful. It hurts. I was supposed to get out of here a little earlier, but I have to, you know, do this. So I'm about to head out. I guess I won't go live from it's gonna go live from Atlanta, you know, today. But since I'm already live, I guess I've used up my one live for today. I still can go live, but you know, I don't want to keep coming on. Yeah, like I said, the Fat Albert character. Well, yeah, that may be, you know, he made, you know, I cannot imagine. This reminds me of Trayvon Martin. Yeah, they've been attacking the mother bad too. They've been attacking her real bad. Like, how bereft of humanity must you be to attack this woman. They were talking about she the new Erica Kirkin and talk about her race. And oh my God, these people they are really sick. Where is he from? The hell if I know Christopher Crockett. What's his name? Ben Crump. I don't know where he's from. You know, I'm very angry as a young black man because of that. Nolan. Well, we have to wait and see what Mississippi's saying. No telling how long that's going to take. You know, we'll wait. Maybe they'll fast track it because of public interest. So we'll wait and see what Mississippi say. Oh yeah, but you know that's the colonizers' ancestors. You know that are out here. Not the colonizers' ancestors. That's the colonizers' grandkids and children that are on the internet today. So that bloodline runs deep. Ben is from my family's hometown of Lubbock, North Carolina. He's an extended cousin. Oh, he is? Okay. Somebody just posted, I know better than to listen to you at work. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I apologize, ma'am. Maybe they're watching one of my videos. Yeah. So the NAACP, to give a recap for those that may have came in late, the NAACP held a press conference. There was some things that were disturbing. There were some things that still remain unanswered. And there were some things that really make no sense, right? So there were three separate areas today. And so he was laid to rest yesterday. He was laid to rest on Monday. And now we're waiting. Was it yesterday? Well, today's Wednesday. So he was laid to rest on Monday, the 20th. Okay, so yeah, he was laid to rest on Monday, the 20th. And so now the family, you know, the real process of healing and all of that starts now. That's why, you know, the healing process starts now. We have to stop allowing our children to go away with these people, not blaming the parents. But many times this will happen before we. Yeah. But listen, you know, there are a lot of us that grow up in cities where, you know, let me keep it a bean, where we are the only black person in our little, you know, school or friend group. And so kids like to tend to adapt to, you know, whiteness. They do. You go to all white high school, it's 3 black kids in the whole school. You just, you know, what are you supposed to do? Be by yourself? I mean, they tend to adapt, but I'm telling y'all, baby, listen, I don't trust them. Not Tyesse. I'm not saying, you know, you should be a loner or nomad, but I don't trust them. I don't trust them folks. Again, it's not a safe spaces, you know, with us. You know, and then it seems like black folks, we just like when we become one of those people in those spaces, we just get very, very comfortable and lax. I don't know if you guys noticed that, like, child, listen. I would never get comfortable with the colonizer, with them blue-eyed devils, ever. Think about what they did to our ancestors. Oh, hell no. Go out on a boat. A boat? Girl, please. Well, never would they, you know, I don't trust them. I don't trust what they over here in my building, they smile, and them smiles, I know they wonder how I can live here, how I can afford to live here. I see the faces of them. I know they look a certain way at me when I walk through here. Like, why does he live here? You know. But then the smile, hi, good morning. And sometimes I do it back. I say, hi, good morning. I do it right back. Yes, I can afford to live here. I sure can. I sure can. Well, what will he do? I do what I do. That's what I do. Them fake good mornings. Some of them are genuine. I give them that. Like 2 or 3 of them are genuine. Most of them, hi, good morning. And I said this, I say it right back to them, hi, good morning. Hi, good morning. Good morning to you too. Yeah. You have to say this a good word, Brian. It's hard for this young generation to believe the others are not for them. Yeah. Never at a better station in life than them. Yeah. That I said. It's only maybe 5 of us in the. Well, I think a black man moved yesterday, so now it's 4 of us left. I think I seen a black man move yesterday, or day before yesterday. No, now it's probably 3 or 4 of us left now. My grandson used to ask me if he could spend the night with his white friends. No, you don't know them people. I can afford anything you can afford. That's why I walk in all kind of nice restaurants, all kind of places like I own a place. I walk in like I'm one of the damn proprietors. I walk in like I own the damn place. And people are like, well, who is he? I am who I am. That's who I am. Give me a damn menu. And some clean silverware. And move quickly without haste. I'm Tyesse Jackson from the official Tyesse Report. I want some clean silverware and a menu. Never mind. I forgot. Most of these places have QR codes. I don't want to touch them germ-infested in menus, no ways. I worked in an all-white environment, and you have to stand your ground. Yeah, you do. Yeah, I can't stand them fake smiles. Good morning. Good morning. Hi. That's how I say it. I say it back to the heads the same way. Well, we're going to keep praying for the family. We're going to keep praying for Black people all across America. We're going to keep on fighting for social justice. We got to be serious about the midterms right now, Ty Squad. We got to be serious about the midterms because this is going to determine a lot for us. Yeah, it's annoying. Ashley Patillo. We got the we got to stand our ground in November, y'all. We can't take no wooden nickels. Somebody say, well, Tyesse, listen, every midterm things shift, for the party that's not in power. Yeah, we never been here before. We never been here with this demon, this warlock. Yeah. Are they closing today, Ty Squad? Is the NAACP closing today? Does anybody know? I think I just saw that. Is today the last day? I'll be sure to check that out. Shout out to Don Lemon. Shout out to my brother Don Lemon, who's doing great work. Okay, so I got to cover that tonight. Oh my God, I got so much work to do when I get home. What time is it? 11:35. Got a lot of work to do because we had them damn Nazis and stuff marching through DC, y'all. So we got to cover that. Yeah, they them people that be walking through trying to intimidate Black folks. They was over there in DC marching around trying to scare people. First of all, we're not scared of y'all. Those days are over with, honey. You mad? Take your ass down there to the hood in DC. Walk through the hood. Hold on one second. Patriot Front. Hold on one second. Can you give me the number 1 dangerous neighborhood in Washington, D.C.? Okay, take your ass over to Deanwood, Anacostia, or Ward 8. Go over there. Walk through there with your mask on. Yeah, go over to the Deanwood. Yeah. Why is the NAACP closed? Not closing, y'all. Not closing. Is today the closing of the convention? Not closing. Not closing. Is it the closing of the convention in Chicago? Is today the final day? Maybe let me clarify that. I don't want nobody to run away from here with that. Karen Ward, thank you for 1313 because you are a stellar blogger and I love you. Well, thank you, Karen Ward. You know, I'm here because somebody has to bear witness. And then you have, let me clarify that. Is today the final day of the NAACP convention in Chicago? Maybe the ran up telling people the NAACP is closing. I don't want nobody to run with that one, please. Let me tell you something, Karen Ward. I'm glad to be considered a great blogger in my own right. I'm glad that God has favored me for such a time as this. But I do not want to get a big head. I don't want to get a big head. I don't want to end up like Brian Carr. I just don't want to do it. So that's why I try to stay humble, meek, and mild. I try to stay as sweet as a Georgia peach. I'm trying to stay humble. You need to stay humble and get your behind up and start getting dressed, Tyesse. That's what you need to do. I took my shower already. All right. Kevin Thorpe Ward. Karen. Hey, Karen Thorpe Ward. All right, y'all. We're live tonight. Who knows? I may go live. I may go live again. I don't know, y'all. I've already used up all my notifications, so it's gonna be what it's gonna be. So I may go live from lunch or whatever. Maybe this integration thing is not possible in the way we want it to be. We may have to demand equality instead for waiting for their hearts to change. Well, we're demanding equality. That's what we're doing. I don't see anybody, actively waiting for, races to come around. I don't think none of us are waiting for that. Dr. King said that he did fear that he may have integrated us into a burning house. He was very, very, had a lot of, consternation. He even wrote, Where Do We Go From Here? One of his final prose was called Where Do We Go From Here? Yeah. Okay, so this is the third one I've gotten from you guys. And the third one I've gotten from y'all. Hold on one second. Give me a minute. So I'm aware of what happened with Rudolph McKissick. I'm aware of it and I will address it tonight. Okay. I don't have time because I get stuck on here. I'm aware of what he said. Well, I got to find out what exactly he said. Anti-gay, homophobic has many meanings in 2026, right? When you have somebody like Francis Kelly using the F word in church, we have to be very clear. But I am aware of Rudolph McKissick's homophobic, incendiary language, and we will address it tonight. I will have my own commentary. I'll look at the others, whether written or spoken. I will look at it. Dr. King did not integrate us into a burning house because no one man owns the earth and owns another human being. Well, the problem, Michelle, I take your point. The problem is that the mindset of the colonizer, the mindset of the racist, the mindset of the white supremacists is something that often metastasizes. It doesn't. You don't have moments where you see a great awakening. Oprah Winfrey caught a lot of flack when she said a whole generation of that energy just has to die off. that white supremacist energy. It just has to go away because, you know, you don't see them. You don't see them, you know, changing. Big swaths of them changing generationally. And because of that, integration is a failed experiment, in my opinion. It is. The thing is that when Abraham Lincoln did the Emancipation Proclamation, there was a reason outside of wanting to do something for Black folks. Let's just be honest. There were other reasons why he did it. We don't have time to go through it today, but when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed and ratified, all that stuff, the whole process from start to finish, they never had a plan for what to do with all these Black people. And so it still remains today. There's never been a plan, you know, and equality is something that, you know, is very, very abstract to these people. So they never had a plan for what to do with us. Everybody, all kinds of nationalities have received reparations and fiduciary reciprocity, except us. You have to think about it. Am I making sense to two people in the back? Make sure am I making sense to 2 or 3 people in the back? So I understand Dr. King's recapitulation on that. I do. It feels like the plan is to put us in jail or unalive us. Well, you know, white supremacy is a business. White supremacy is twins with capitalism. There's a white supremacy, capitalism, they're twins. They work very well together. They work very well together. They do. You know, so that's why you never see that happen to the oligarchs and the plutocrats over on Wall Street. You never see anybody do anything to them, you know. They always make out like fat rats. Had America stuck to Reconstruction, this place would be amazing. Well, I heard Roland Martin say this years ago on Washington Watch. Every time there's Reconstruction, they do a deconstruction, and not in the way y'all think. So whenever there's a Reconstruction, whenever we have moments of, you know, progress, there's going to be a backlash to the progress. You better say that, Roberto. New Jack City quote for real. Yeah, it's like, you know, let's keep it a bean, Clifton. Every time there's progress, they have to dismantle it. You know, we got the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act, the Fair Housing Act. There was so many things that came in succession back to back. And once, you know, well, you know, they assassinated JFK. Lyndon B. Johnson picked up the torch and finished it. People heralded him, but he didn't do. What did he do? All he did was just finish the work that JFK did. Oh my God, Lyndon B. Johnson. And sometimes I wonder, did he really want to do what he did? You know, but that's a whole other conversation too. But you know, Lyndon B. Johnson, you know, went ahead and finished the work of JFK, you know, and got everything, you know, over the finish line. But immediately after that, all hell broke loose. You know, Voting Rights Act, Civil Rights Act, right after that, like all hell broke loose, y'all. You know, and when I say they did it in succession, they did it in succession, baby. Malcolm X neutralized in 65, Dr. King neutralized in 68, and then the when I say comprehensive annihilation of the Black Panthers, Fred Hampton in Chicago, the shootout on Central Avenue in Los Angeles, you know, Our sister Sala Shakur, she had to go and take off and ran over to Cuba. We still don't know what happened to Huey P. Newton in Oakland. They said some crackhead, I don't know, somebody shot him or stabbed him. You know, that's still a question mark. You know, I think my brother, I think Stokely Carmichael went over to Ghana or somewhere. I don't know where he went to. He went over to Ghana. He changed his name and everything, y'all. You know, Stokely went to Ghana, or did he go to Zimbabwe somewhere? I don't know. Hold on, let me see. I don't want to do my ancestor like that, y'all. Hold on, let me tell you where he went. What African country did Stokely Carmichael move to? Okay, so Stokely Carmichael moved to Guinea, okay, and briefly stayed in Ghana first. All right. He left the United States in '69 and settled in, let me see if I can pronounce this, Conakry, Guinea, West Africa. As I said, he changed his name to Kwame Ture to honor African leaders Kwame Nkrumah and Sekou Toure. I hope I did that. I hope I did our ancestors well. We give JFK too much credit because he did not want to sign it. Yeah, I think they have me listen. Let me hush, because they'll be to put me on what I'll tell out here tonight, this afternoon. They'll be to put me on their new watch list. Because you know, Michelle, they had, you know, you had J. Edgar Hoover, who was a homosexual and a cross-dresser. And listen, I better be careful, because I don't want them to put a plastic bag over my head today when I'm out shopping and pull me in the back of a white van. But then they said, Michelle, are you listening to Michelle? Then they said J. Edgar Hoover was really black. See, they ain't ready for that conversation, Michelle. They said he was really black, and they say he liked to put on panties and bras and stockings. So, and it was a whole homosexual. Was. And so, when you have COINTELPRO under the direction of J. Edgar Hoover, COINTELPRO, that stands for Counterintelligence Program, right? Where they had a almost Jason Bourne level operation of counterintelligence on their own citizens. Everybody, from Aretha Franklin, everybody that was considered or could be considered a black messiah, or somebody that was putting starch in the backs of their people, they had a file. Did. Any pro-black, any, you know, Afro Sheen, anything, dashikis, your ass had a file. Did. Yeah, but see what happened, Michelle. See, you in the book, Michelle. They would put the tape recorders under Dr. King's motel beds, right? I don't know why Dr. King named to do sweeps up in there when they were going in hotel rooms. But anyways, Dr. King, they would bug his phones. They would find out where he's staying, because there's always, Tyesse, you got to get out of here, girl. Okay, you haven't even eaten breakfast yet. You got up this morning taking contemporaneous notes of Nolan Wells thing, right? And so you had to be ready for this live. And so you did not eat breakfast, right? Okay. So you got to go eat. But I have to teach. I have to teach before I go. So what was I saying? So they would bug his phone. There's always one person in the group. There's a turncoat or somebody that's working with them. If you don't watch no other movie this month, watch Judas and the Black Messiah. Daniel Kaluuya won an Oscar for his blistering tour de force performance. Judas and the Black Messiah. Don't go anywhere today until you watch it. So there's always going to be one person in the group, or maybe even two, that's a turncoat or somebody working with the feds. didn't know where Dr. King was going to be staying at to bug the phone, to put tape recorders in the room. Somebody had to be working with the feds, a snitch. So basically, they got the recordings of him having sex with other women. He was a human. He was a man, like all men. You know, he wasn't perfect. We're not trying to deify him, although I believe he was divinely appointed from God. I believe he was I believe he was a prophet. I believe he was divinely sent to liberate us, like Moses. That's my personal opinion. But so they would take the recordings and then mail them to Coretta. And so she would get them and then she would play them and she would hear, you know, put those big gigantic headphones on or just play it, you know. She would listen to them and she would hear her husband having sex with women in the motel rooms. I told y'all they're evil, they cold-blooded, y'all. That blue-eyed devil is cold-blooded. So their thought was, if we can cause dissension in this marriage and break this marriage up, then we can break him up. We can start breaking and chipping away at him. Now, while they was doing that with Coretta sending her audio recordings of her husband and the sounds from the room, while they was doing that with her, they was calling him, playing on the phone with him, telling him he was a DEAD man, and it's only a matter of time. And they was telling him to commit self-harm, telling him to off himself. Yeah, that's what they were telling him, right? And so Coretta understood the assignment. She knew that the movement was bigger than her husband's infidelity, so she decided to go ahead and just stick it out. Now, did she probably whip Martin's ass a couple of times and bust him upside the head? I'm sure she did. But she knew that divorcing Martin would be a spectacle of all spectacles. And so many people would lose faith in the man and probably leave the movement if she left him. So she stayed and raised her children. And then after he was assassinated, did they send Jackie recording of JFK and all his women? I'm not sure. Right? I didn't really follow Jackie and him like that. I know his daddy was a bootlegger, and JFK daddy was a bootlegger and a crook. And you know, so they was all over there crooks and stuff. That's why I was saying why they be trying to deify him. The whole family was crooks. But bootleg whiskey, y'all. Whiskey, and they ran numbers and prostitutes and everything up there in Boston. Massachusetts. Okay, but what was our anti-squad? I forgot. Oh, Coretta decided to stay and stick it out, right? And so after Martin was assassinated, she never married again. Moonshine, Hooch, Hutch, you know, every city has a different name for it, you know. Corn liquor whiskey. So she never married again. Same thing with our sister Betty Shabazz and Brother Minister. After they blew him away over there in Harlem in the Audubon Ballroom. And listen, y'all, listen, let's be clear. Malcolm X, everybody knew what was going on. The police knew, and they got the tip off, and they did nothing. The government knew what was going on. Years later, we found out the two men that were sent to prison were the wrong men. One of them died before he even got his damn acquittal or got his name cleared up. He passed away, so he went to his grave feeling like, you know. So then we found out who the real people were, and then everybody started connecting the dots. Then Malcolm X's daughter was going to go around there and blow Louis Farrakhan away because she thought that, you know, Old Child was a big old mess. Oh, my God. Speak on Sister Monroe singing to him at the yeah. See, Marilyn Monroe was the woman that knew too much. Now I don't know what happened to that interview on 60 Minutes. I don't know what happened. It was a maid or some sort of housekeeper, and she said Marilyn Monroe was alive when they took her up out of there. They did something to her and came back and put her in the bed, and then said she had the OD that took too many pills. That interview disappeared. I never found it again. There was a maid that said Marilyn Monroe was alive in that damn ambulance when they took her up out of there in that ambulance. And they came back and put her back in the bed dead. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Yeah. They said she was popping them pills tomorrow like Tic Tacs. Yeah. They said she was over there popping them pills. She said, I'm in pain. I need to give me a hit. I need a little bump. And then when she get on that stuff, you didn't even understand what she was saying half the time. What the hell are you saying? What are you talking about? She was high when she was singing, Happy Birthday, this the president. Happy birthday. She was high as a damn kite then. She had probably took a couple of bumps then. Bottom line, Marilyn Monroe was a woman that knew too much. She had too much inside information. And said, listen, we got to get rid of her, baby. Because listen, in a minute, she's going to be to dish all the tea. She get high on these pills, get to talking too much. Yeah, I believe it, Naida. I do. You know. So I don't know. Yeah, they got rid of my girl, Soledad O'Brien. Crystal over at CNN. Roland Martin, all the great reporters from CNN were, let go. She did some really great work around the Atlanta child murders. That documentary is still available. She did some really great work with the Atlanta child murder story. Thank you, Tarleton. Well, I know you love this kind of stuff. I wish I had time to do Black America like I used to, Tarleton. I really do. I do them as standalone specials now, but I don't really have the time. But I know you love these conversations, right? Well, the New York, they already did they post. Let me see what they say, because they hate Black folks. Private autopsy of Nolan Wells offered little insight into death. I knew it. Y'all know the New York Post, they can't stand Black folks, so they, what their headline's gonna be. They got movie stars addicted to that stuff on purpose. Yeah, my girl Dorothy Dandridge, they found her over there in the house dead. Dorothy Dandridge over in West Hollywood. We talked about it in Patreon. Hold on, let me pull this up for y'all. Same thing with Dorothy Dandridge. Wait a minute. Okay, Dorothy Dandridge died September 8th, 1965 in West Hollywood, California. She was 42. Her official cause of death was ruled an accidental overdose of the antidepressant tofranil, though some initial medical reports suggested a fatal embolism, a blood clot, stemming from an ankle injury she suffered days prior. I told them, all of them people, to go around there, and y'all need to go around there and check on damn Dorothy. Somebody said, Tyesse, how could you say that you was even born yet? Well, my spirit, before I was even born, y'all should have went around there and checked on damn Dorothy. But she had a blood clot. Then they told me, she was taking too many antidepressants. She lost track of how many pills she took. Oh, okay. Well, listen, I don't buy it. Sure did. Romardo, Dorothy Dandridge, Malcolm X, Lorraine Hansberry. Yeah. From A Raisin in the Sun, Nat King Cole. We lost a lot of greats in 65. Yeah. We as Black people are not going anywhere. We ain't going nowhere no time soon. And we're going to keep on fighting. All right, Ty Squad. I got to come back and work and do this show. All I do is work, work, work. That's all I do. At least Matthew used to keep me occupied, you know. But now all I do is work, work, work. I should be home by 3. I'm gonna try to get home by 3, and get home by 3 and get to work on tonight's show, you know, and do the best I can. That's all I can do. Nolan Wells, rest in peace, brother. There are people out here fighting for the truth. Your death will not be in vain. Whatever the findings are in the conclusory, episcopacy, whatever they conclude, we are going to keep fighting until we get there. That's what we're going to do. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today to the official Tyesse Report breaking news coverage of the press conference concerning Nolan Wells' preliminary autopsy findings live in Chicago. I thank you so much for tuning in today. If you found any part of this broadcast entertaining, informative, or the like, please feel free to donate. Is that mandatory? Is that even something that you have to do? It is a gratuity if you want to support us, right? There are multiple ways to give, including Chime now. So thank you so much, everybody that tuned in today. Okay. You can get $5, $10, $15, even $100 towards this platform. Thank y'all. And continue to subscribe because we're on our way to 18,000. We're glad about it. We're excited about it. 18,000 is loading. Can y'all put that in the chat? 18K. Put that in the chat. 18K is loading. Shout out to everybody that's live right now on the Black Gaze channel. Let me see. Let me just shout out a few people. See who all over there. All of y'all that are live on the Black Gaze channel. We love you. All 20 of you. Yeah. Thank y'all so much. You appreciate it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And also hype all of our videos. Go and hype them so they can reach more people. Yeah. All right. All right, y'all. That's gonna be my cue. Thank y'all so much. I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna get dressed and hit the streets, and I'll be back around 3:30. Hopefully I get back by 3:30. Okay. Have a phenomenal day on purpose. This is Tyesse Jackson from the official Tyesse Report signing off on the Nolan Wells preliminary findings live. All right. Cue the music. That is a very good idea. If you came in late, rewatch it on the Black Gaze channel so we can get that view and that engagement. That is a very good idea, Bees. Thank you so much. Whatever you didn't get, go watch it over on the Black Gaze channel. GAZE. Thank y'all so much. Make sure to put a link in the chat. Have a great day.